Hello and welcome again to Womercatch World, and with me today is Richard.
Hi.
Now, with the release this week of the film Till, about the murder of a boy from Chicago in 1955 in Mississippi, today's topic has a related theme, and this one is about the Ole Miss and the integration of Negro students at southern universities in the USA. The process had started in 1954 with the Supreme Court ruling in the case of Brown versus the Board of Education that segregated schools were unconstitutional. However, the change was very slow, and this was in 1954, and by the early 1960s things had really not improved all that much. Now, James Meredith was a Negro from Mississippi who had applied to study mathematics at the University of Mississippi. He had been inspired by the new administration, the administration of John Fitzgerald Kennedy, and President Kennedy had stated in press conferences that he would be using his influence to get Negroes enrolled at universities in the South. However, this was a very difficult thing to achieve because things had been allowed to attitudes had been allowed to develop unchallenged for many years, and so by the early 1960s attitudes were very much entrenched, and states such as Mississippi were very opposed to integration, and so it was very difficult for everyone concerned. The federal authorities had to move in a very cautious manner because if they put a foot wrong, then it would inflame the situation and make things worse rather than better. Now James Meredith applied to study at Mississippi in 1961. Mississippi refused to admit him. He then took his case to the Supreme Court, who ruled that they had no right to debar him, which then brought in the Attorney General's office. The Attorney General in the administration of Kennedy was Bobby Kennedy, the younger brother of the president, and the opposition to integration was a very determined opposition. The state governor of Mississippi, Ross Barnett, was a staunch segregationist, and things were obviously very difficult.
I was just going to mention, Bill, you used the term Negro there. Was that a term very much in common parlance at the time in sort of 1950s, 1960s America?
It was, yes. I mean, it's the Spanish word for black, and so people of colour were sometimes referred to as coloured, and then the segregated restrooms and bathroom facilities were quite often labelled white and coloured, as were the things like buses and the likes. But yes, that was the term that was used.
That's sort of 1950s, 60s
Yes.
America.
Yes.